get it. That's cool. I had this whole unreleased album about Bubba the Monster Hunter, but...
That's all right. I got an unproduced TV show about it,
too.
Okay, John, this half of you is on camera. So for everybody, that's the edge of the frame there. Is that half, so don't go past where
So in other words, when I'm doing this to Mikey, use this hand.
There you go.
Wait. Totally what part of me is on?
What?
I'm not on camera at all, right?
Head is...
And then this is yours. I still wear it a lot. I'm like, I hope she doesn't want this one back.
I would just like to announce that our line wraps around twice.
Well, Sarah's got an answer on too.
Are we ready, my darling?
Yes.
Okay. Leave and ready. I'm ready. Let them in.
Let's go. I don't do this. Am I giving the signal? Somebody say we're ready.
We're ready.
All right. Thank you so much. I've been so nervous about this sideshow that I wrote a script so that I wouldn't flub, and I will probably flub anyway. So, hello everyone.
Off to a great start.
I'm not kidding. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening for some fun and frivolity. I am your host, Princess Alethea Kontis. And this is my fabulous sideshow dress. Check this out! I love this dress. Before we start, I'd like to remind everyone that there will be a meet and greet and book signing after the show. For those who don't know, here is a brief history of Princess Alethea's traveling sideshow. Hashtag PATS, hashtag Princess Alethea, hashtag DragonCon 2019. In 2009, which really doesn't feel like a decade ago, DragonCon scheduled me for a reading slot down in the bowels of the Hyatt. Earlier, a lovely author who said, I have a reading this is my first DragonCon and I have a reading. What do I do? And I laughed. I didn't think I had enough fiction to fill the whole hour. Most authors would have just shared their spot with someone else. I am not most people. So I gathered up a bunch of my fellow author friends because so many of us often have talents beyond writing, and I put on my own show. I even told the Daily Dragon I would give away bags full of books and swag to the first 40 attendees because I seriously thought no one would show up. We had standing room only. From there, the sideshow slowly took on a life of its own. In 2015, the brilliant Bev Kodak found out about my little carnival act and instantly gave me a slot on her amazing YA track. In honor of this prestigious move, I wrote the first episode of Princess Alethea's fairy tale Rant theater. In 2016, we started walking with the Harry Potter and other YA track folks in the parade. In 2017, I commissioned my dear friend Kit Steele, who will be coming late. She's bringing Prince of this dragon. We call him Pat S. Dragon. She's the one who designed the dragon and the new t-shirt this year that has the D10 in honor of the 10th anniversary. In 2018, Kit created the Marriott Winged Imp we know and love today as our mascot, Pat S. Dragon. In 2018, the fabulous new YA track director, Melissa Pichetto, found a way to wrangle us an extended time slot. Thus, the mixing and the mingling that will be happening later. This year, 2019, our 10th anniversary year, we have a camera. That's my storm chasing camera, nobody walk off with it. On which we can now film the whole sideshow in its entirety, so I don't have to beg people for pictures and video from past years. We also launched a couple of sideshow levels on Patreon, patreon.com/PrincessAlethea, to help sponsor this camera and way more swag like all of these bags that we have been giving away all weekend. They still have more in the YA track. I still have about 100 left up in my room, but some of you have prizes now. Oh, that's right, I forgot. This is why I wrote this. In one of the bags is a Marriott carpet dragon. Oh, you got it! Hold it up so everybody can see. It is created by Justine Birmingham, who helped me make this dress. She will also be coming in a little bit later. The Monster Cafe, I share all of her things on my Facebook page. And somewhere along the way in this bullet points, Gray Rinehart wrote us a theme song. One verse changes every year, And if you don't know the chorus, that's okay. It's super, super catchy. You will catch on really quickly. But if you do know the chorus, please sing along. Welcome, everyone, to Princess Alethea's Traveling Sideshow.
There you go. We'll start with the chorus. The traveling sideshow is back once again with Princess Alethea and some of her friends to regale and entertain old and young with stories unending and other fun. Come in, sit down, cast off your burdens and straighten your crowns. For once upon a time is now, the traveling players are in the house. The traveling sideshow is back once again with Princess Alethea and some of her friends to regale and entertain old and young with stories unending and other fun. They've ladies fair and heroes quite bold, but watch very closely and you will behold that the tale they tell is precious and rare of those ladies bold and the heroes fair. The traveling sideshow is back once again with Princess Alethea and some of her friends to regale and entertain old and young with stories unending and other fun. We've got emo phantoms and fun by design, redneck poems and songs of all kinds, a fairy tale rant and an adventure you choose to celebrate 10 years of antics with you. Everybody, the traveling sideshow is back once again with Princess Alethea and some of her friends to regale and entertain old and young with stories unending and other fun. Stories unending and other fun. Stories unending and other fun.
Thank you, Gray. That's so amazing. I love that you know the words. Gray will be back to sing for us again later, but feel free to go ahead and download his album Distorted Visions and Truth, Lies, and Make Believe. That's 2 different albums. Available on Bandcamp, Amazon, and CD Baby. And now, places everyone. It is time for Princess Alethea's Fairy Tale Rant Theater. This fairy tale that we were about to perform for you was originally adapted for a puppet show for middle schoolers. Back when I worked in Northern Virginia's Parks and Rec, I did really work for Parks and Rec. At the after-school program. At first, the kids were like, really? Fairy tales? But I told them this one involved human trafficking, burglary, mischief, and a handful of deaths and dismembered bodies, and after that they were totally on board. And so without further ado, the sideshow players are proud to present Tom Thumb. Once upon a time, a poor woodcutter sat in his cottage, smoking his pipe by the fire, while his wife sat by his side, spinning.
How lonely we are, all by ourselves, while other people are sending their children off to school and posting it on Facebook.
How happy should I be if I had but one child? If it were ever so small, say, no bigger than my thumb, I should be very happy and love them dearly.
That's oddly specific and strange. I too would love our child, no matter their size.
And because this is a fairy tale, the wife's oddly specific wish came true. They had a very, very little boy who was quite healthy and strong. But not much bigger than a thumb. They loved him dearly, and they called him Thomas Thumb.
Honey, he has your beard.
One day, as the woodcutter was going into the forest to work, he said,
I wish I had someone to bring the cart for me.
I will take care of that, Father.
What? How? You're too small.
If Mother will only harness the horse, I will get into his ear and tell him which way to go.
All right, son. We will try. Just this once.
Tom did as he planned and got his mother to harness the cart and put Tom in the horse's ear. He directed the horse by yelling, "Go! Go!
Okay, that's weird. Let's follow it.
See, Father? Here I am with the cart, all right and safe. Now take me down.
This kid could make us a fortune. We must buy him. Okay.
What?
How about $5 for the little guy? 10?
I won't sell him at all. That's my son. He is worth more to me than all the silver and gold in the world.
Take the money, Dad. And let him have me. I'll come home soon back to you.
Okay, you can have him for 1 piece of gold.
Seriously? One? That's all?
Sold!
Good luck, son. Remember, your mother and I always loved you.
Well, you can carry me on your hat, if you will.
One of the strangers put Tom on her hat, or veil, and they all walked for a very long time.
I'm tired. Can you put me down for a while? See you later, chumps!
Tom ran away from the men and hid under a large rock. The strangers looked for him, but they finally gave up.
I knew that was too good to be true.
Tom was so tired from running, he fell asleep. Tom slept for a very long time. Tom was woken by the sound of 2 very familiar bandits. They were hatching a plan.
How can we rob that rich preacher's house of his silver and gold?
I know!
What was that?
I'll show you how to steal the monies.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Look on the ground, silly.
You're so small. What could you possibly do for us?
Why, I can get between the iron window bars of the preacher's house and throw out whatever you want.
That's actually a pretty good idea. All right, let's do it.
When they came to the preacher's house, Tom slipped through the window bars into the room where the preacher was sleeping.
Hey, what do you want me to steal?
Preacher!
I can't hear you. Do you want me to throw it all out?
Be quiet! Just take his money.
Okay, here it comes. Hold out your hands.
What's all that racket?
Having escaped the bandits, Tom ran into the barn and hid in the hay. There was a lot of running and a lot of sleeping in this. He was so scared and so tired that he fell asleep in the hay. And he didn't even notice when a cow, where's my cow? Oh, there he is, chewed him up and swallowed him whole.
Oh no. It's really dark in here.
At that time, the preacher came to milk the cow.
No more hay! No more, I'm serious, it's getting cramped in here!
What the?
Please, no more hay!
Oh, Lord, this cow is possessed.
So the preacher butchered the cow and then threw away the insides, including the intestines and the stomach with Tom inside it. Tom had almost made his way out of the intestines when a wolf came by and ate the cow stomach. Tom and all.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Mr. Wolf! Hello?
Who was that?
Mr. Wolf!
It's Miss Wolf. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Sorry, it's me, your stomach. I'm still hungry.
Really? We just ate all those lovely cowbirds that were very conveniently here for me. And how can you still be hungry?
Because I am. But I know where you can get some really good snacks.
Snacks, I love snacks. Where?
The woodcutter's house. You just crawl through the drain into the kitchen and then into the pantry, and then you're gonna find cakes and ham and beef and cold chicken and roast pig and apple dumplings and everything your heart desires.
Yum. Okay. You can know where that is.
The wolf did as Tom said and crawled through the drain into the pantry, where she ate so much that she was too fat to escape back through the drain. Now she was stuck in the pantry.
Help!
Oh, come on, little stomach voice. You said you were hungry. It's not my fault all this food was so good.
Hey, hello!
Yee-hoo! Wait, the woodcutter will come and catch us for sure.
Sorry, Wolf, I'm just such a happy stomach, I can't contain myself. I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and bright. And I pity any stomach that ain't me tonight.
What's all that racket? It's a wolf.
Eek! Kill it! Mother, father, I'm in the wolf. She swallowed me.
Oh my goodness. I'll save you, son. Oh, husband, be careful. I've got this, honey.
The woodcutter struck the wolf on the head and killed her on the spot. They cut open her body and set little Tom free.
Ta-da!
My son. Oh, honey. We were so scared.
It's so good to be home. Please don't sell me again, Dad. At least not for a little while.
I would not sell you again for all the riches in the world.
They hugged and kissed their dear little son. They fed him and gave him new clothes. Tom became a great traveler after that. He loved telling stories about all his adventures, but most of all he loved coming to DragonCon. Because there's no place like DragonCon. The end.
I always want a cast picture at the end of this, and I never get one, so thank you all so much.
Some of you may know about the huge crush I have on our next performer. He almost wasn't able to perform with us this year due to a scheduling conflict, and when I heard the news, I actually cried. I was having a bad day.
It's okay, I came back.
But some dragon magic happened behind the scenes of DragonCon programming, and I'm thrilled to have Mikey Mason with us for the second year in a row. You can get his new album, M, now available at Bandcamp, but I will warn you right now, you're going to want all his other albums too.
Yes, all of them.
Hi, everybody!
Hi!
Like Princess Alethea said, I almost wasn't able to be here, but I'm glad I am able to be here. And because I really had a lot of fun last year, and I've been writing a lot of new music, and I do have a new album out. It's called M. And I wrote this song. This is on the album. This is about one of my favorite books of all time, The Last Unicorn. Molly Grove, where have you gone? Couldn't find a unicorn, you'd search for one since you were just a lass. Now that one has come to you, your maiden days have long been through. Now that your hair of copper has faded to dry grass, you'd say, where were you when I was new? When I was young and fair, yeah. Now all my happy endings have all vanished in the air. Like Robin Hood, Maid Marian, and all the merry men, and all the dreams we dared to dream back when. Those ghosts that haunt our memories tender dear, what will you do? Magic once inside of you, you felt when you were younger, has come to you at last. And all the power that you need is held within you, locked and keyed. Why must we speak in riddles with these questions that we ask? We are not always what we seem, and hardly ever what we dream. And all our happy endings have abandoned us, it seems. Like Robin Hood made Marian and all the merry men, and all the dreams we dared to dream back when. These ghosts that haunt our memories have never really been. There are no happy endings because nothing ever ends. When the wine drinks itself, a passage you will find. When the slow speaks, when the clock strikes the right time. Like Robin Hood made Marian and all the merry men, and all the dreams we dared to dream back when. These ghosts that haunt our memories have never really been. There are no happy endings because nothing ever. Robin Hood made Marian and all the merry, nothing ever. All the dreams we dared to dream back when. Nothing ever. Robin Hood made Marian and all the merry men. There are no happy endings because nothing ever ends. The princess asked me to sing this song. And when a princess asks you to do something, that's a royal commandment. But I feel I love you too. I feel compelled to warn you, since I see some people who are under the age of 18, that there are some slight language in this song. Good? You're my favorite kind of parent. You know, honestly, we can't protect our kids from language, but we can teach them how to use it and what's appropriate and when, all right? And so don't say these things. This is a song about role-playing games. Do I have tabletop role-playing games in the room? All right. The rest of you just roll with it. This is a song about the best game ever played, and is rather unoriginally titled Best Game Ever. You don't have to know the words to sing along either. I'm just telling you right now. You look around, you see somebody about to take a breath, pretty soon they're going to say best game ever. It's kind of repetitive like that. It was the best game ever. The traps and riddles were so clever, and hardly any of our party even died. Except for George, but he deserved it. He kept doing really dumb shit. When we split his magic items up, I swear to God, he almost cried. And when he came back in the game as his new known thief mage assassin, we took all his gear again and sold him as a slave. Best game ever. Let's say it again. It was the best game ever. I told you it was repetitive. One more led him to the dragon. Then we killed it in 3 rounds. Best game ever! Seriously, what kind of barbarian are these tactics for 5 minutes, right? Let alone an hour. He was asking to die. He was begging to die. Did you see what he was wearing? All right, we don't want to set that precedent. Cosplay is not consent. It doesn't matter what the barbarian's wearing. They're not asking to die unless they argue tactics for any length of time whatsoever. In which case, you strip them. We strip them of the gear, we feed them to the dragon, and we sell all their stuff back in town and buy beer. As we wound down the adventure back in town inside the tavern, there was George as a half-elf, half-orcish monk illusionist. As we counted out our treasure, he attempted to seduce a barmaid, laughing as she raised her fist until we all picked up our weapons. And as he died, he swore he would never game with us again as long as he lived. Oh, wait. A little early there, a couple of guys. Best game ever! Saved a barmaid, slayed a dragon, got some treasure, raised a flagon, and we racked up the XP, and we will never have to deal with George's bullshit in another game again. That is, at least until next week, because he is our DM's brother. Her mom won't let us game here in their basement anymore unless we say that he can play. Yeah, I know you had to be there, but I swear by all that's holy, victory was never sweeter than it was today. Best game ever. I've got 10 o'clock tonight, Firefly drinking shows over in the Centennial Ballroom 1 tomorrow. 4 o'clock Hyatt Concourse. I'm gonna pimp myself. Sorry. 4 o'clock Hyatt Concourse stage. Look me up on the DragonCon app, Mikey Mason. And if you love this panel, make sure you rate it and comment. I heard from a very good source they actually read the comments. Like for the first time ever, it's okay to do that. So. And the more positive comments they get, the better it looks. So rate this panel and comment positively. And if there are any other panels you like that are that way, rate those positively, comment on them as well.
The first song I fell in love with Mikey with was She Don't Like Firefly, which I'm sure you will play at Firefly Drinking Songs, yes? I am certain of it. But when I heard Best Game Ever, I mean, obviously I fell off my chair, as most of you did, or almost did. But not just because it's an amazing song, because my father's name is George. He would never play D&D, but I'm sure if he did, he'd be terrible. Also, we were thinking since next year is 2020, we were actually thinking of making like a special edition Princess Alethea's D20. I was going to ask you how you felt about that, but I'm guessing this. Leave us feedback on the app and tell us how you feel about that. No idea how much it's going to cost, so that may be prohibitive, but we're definitely going to look into it. Our next performer is no stranger to the Sideshow because Leanna Renee Hieber is the one cast member who has been with me since the show's inception. And what I realized when I was writing the intro is not only is it the 10th anniversary of the Sideshow, it's the 10th anniversary of our friendship. Yep, I met her that summer, and then that fall, I'm like, hey, you want to come to DragonCon? Hey, you want to be crazy at a Sideshow with me? Yeah. This is why we are super best friends. Leanna is a professional actress whose credits span from the small stage to the big screen. Her novel, The Spectral City, is out right now, and the sequel, Sanctuary Spirits, which has an amazing cover, comes out November 12th. Here to dramatize for us a sparkling gem of juvenilia is no other than my dearest bosom companion, the Anne to my Diana, Leanna Renee Hieber.
I love you, and I love all of you more than I love myself, because I'm putting myself through the embarrassment that is reading to you a piece that I wrote when I was 13. And I really love Phantom of the Opera, you guys. I really did. And I wrote a lot of fanfic, you guys. Ill-advised. Also, for any children in the room, like, just don't. It's a toxic relationship, you guys. Christine shouldn't have been with that guy. Like, really, what was I thinking? Anyway, but in this case, we're actually dealing with, like, sort of an alternate universe Phantom. I decided for my English class that I was going to write a gender-swapped Phantom of the Opera. So, problematic in a different way. And so, just to carbon date this for you, this is a visual aid. Carbon dating this with my Super Shades folder. That was straight out of my Trapper Keeper. Dating myself there too. And so I got to show you the art that I drew for it. You know, this is all for ostensibly for an English class. What I was thinking, actually turning this into a teacher is amazing. Prima donna, first lady of the stage. Yes, it's going to be in your head all day. So it is just as Gray gave us a little bit of a prophecy on this. It sure is emo. It sure is emo. You guys ready for this? Because I just glanced at it and I winced so hard.
You have to show them the printing.
Oh gosh, the dot matrix printer. This is literally the dot matrix printing, you guys. I haven't looked at this since I turned it in to my teacher and she gave it right back to me. And she was like, you were supposed to write a short story, you wrote a novel. Okay, I'm gonna give you an A, but Lord have mercy. Lord, honey bun. Yeah, so they just tolerated me in school. It was good. So here we go. I'm only gonna read you like a page of this because I can't handle any more than that. I'm just gonna laugh the way I do. Please do laugh because it's really bad, you guys. It's amazing that I grew up to be a novelist. I don't understand. Prologue. Of course, I still use prologues, but I promise they're better than this. I promise. I'm sort of like, is anybody gonna actually buy my books after this? Because I promise you they're better than this. I swear to God. I swear to God. However,
You can only go up.
you can only go up from here. However, I will say certain thematic things are there. Emo's there, but it's just more. It's well utilized now. Let's put it that way. And adverbs are used better. Moonlight filtered in faint slivers through the whispering leaves. The stars gazed upon the earth sleepily. From somewhere beyond the trees, a night bird broke the midnight tranquility with a harsh, lonely call. 13 is so hard, you guys. All was still and silent in the Montparnasse cemetery. I've also always been goth, just so you know. Some things never change. The Montparnasse cemetery that was shielded from the moon glow by the surrounding forest. One wouldn't have been able to distinguish the rattling, rasping breath from some evening insect. If you would have glanced carelessly at the scene, you might have mistaken the lone, solitary figure for a tall, obelisk-like gravestone. Yeah, obelisk-like gravestone. But just say obelisk, kind of. Oh, tears fell soundlessly to the soft ground. Yeah. The sickly breath, the very sound of dying, continued in a quiet rhythm. The figure moved, throwing its gaze up into the dark, inhospitable heavens. Oh well, the figure thought, soon the dawn would come. You know, I mean, at least it was writing and not drugs. Because that was the other option. So you know what? My parents lucked out. Okay, I'm only gonna do a couple of this because I really can't handle it. But part one, because there were many parts. I think there were 10 parts. My teacher was like, honey, you were supposed to write a short story. And I'm like, I know, it turned into a novel. Part one, Paris, 1879. I will say I'm still writing books set in the late 1800s. So also some things never change, but I promise you they're better than this. Victoria laughed inappropriately as she merrily closed the door behind her. See, you like the contrast? From the sound of the rhythmic sound of dying to inappropriate laughter. Right, good, yeah. I was really going for dramatic change there, yeah. It's hard. So man, 13 is hard. The road lay empty and inviting before her eager eyes. The look on their faces had been enough to send her to fits of giggles. Parents, she thought, rolling her eyes like an annoyed adolescent, like I was right now. I swear. I mean, really, how would I know? They had stared blankly at her when she told them she was leaving, as if they simply didn't understand or that they simply didn't care. The latter is probably the case, Victoria mused. Maybe she had failed to speak in French. Yeah, because I also thought I was French royalty or something when I was 13. Misplaced, I thought, misplaced at birth or something. And my parents were like, no, honey, you're not a misplaced royal. You're in rural Ohio. Of course, it wasn't a surprise that they didn't care. Apathy seemed to be their specialty. It had always been. My parents are really great, you guys, by the way. They really are. Let this go on the record. My parents are great. 13 is hard, okay? So that was why she had no qualms about flying the uncomfortable little nest. The fledgling in her dreams were just too big for the birdhouse. A simple goodbye, mother, father. I'm old enough to make my own way now, thank you. I'll be at a renowned opera house. If you're wondering what I'd be taking off to, that managed to sum up the departure. Oh, why must she be an actress, they thought, of all things. They were probably wailing inside their misunderstanding little skulls. Frankly, Victoria didn't care what they thought, for they had forced their radically conservative opinions on her for too long. They are liberals. But this was rural Ohio, and I was the only goth for miles. I was in people's subculture discussions in their English class. So the door had clicked and the case had closed. On to the opera, she announced to no one in particular. As you self-narrate as a teenager. As she walked, she wondered dully if her relationship between her and her parents could be condensed into a single sentence. We had a drastically severe difference in opinion. I'm sorry. I just cannot be the reserved, well-groomed, inordinately proper, soulless lady of elitist society that they want me to be. Yes, one sentence. The next chapter begins with, unfortunately, Victoria's boisterous enthusiasm didn't manage to get her very far. She was greeted by an indifferent, you must be Mademoiselle Desmarquis. Really, Desmarquis, you couldn't come up with it. I mean, you read Dumas, kid. You couldn't come up with something better than that. Desmarquis. And it went downhill from there. As did the rest of this book, thank you.
Bless you all for that.
Next up for you, we have fellow best-selling author Eric Asher, who first performed with us at the Sideshow in Daytona Beach in 2018. I knew from his professional author bio that he played the cello, but when he emailed me to say he was actually going to bring one, I swooned! I'm not kidding.
What better to follow my emo phantom shit? Yes! And your name is Eric even, oh my god.
Back off, Leanna.
You got it.
I'm going to play some songs out of pop culture, and if you think you know what it is, raise your hand, and then if Amy points at you, yell at her, and if you get it right, she'll throw something at you. It's fun!
Be careful, some of the things are That's amazing.
Ten wrong, she'll throw hard covers.
Freebird! You Who said Freebird? Alright, so, funny story. Funny story, since you went there. I used to play in a band with my cello. And any bar we ever played, somebody in the audience would be like, play Freebird! So occasionally we would, and they would really regret asking us Hold on. Adjustments.
Trey's not allowed to guess this one. Yeah, I can tell you guys got that one.
Nice. That's like
It's my hint for all the Disney songs.
I totally just
Gonna throw my bow? No.
It's rented.
It's not Avatar. It's still not Avatar.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. That was amazing. And thank all of you guys for guessing because you are amazing. And singing along. Hooray! 10 points to everyone for singing along.
There are points.
There's always points, we're just not tallying them. When I first met our next cast member, Diana Peterfreund, I'm pretty sure she thought I was crazy. I was just so excited to have her sign my book about killer unicorns. Obviously, we were destined to be best friends. Her next novel, and I am so jealous of this, y'all, is called In the Hall with the Knife. It is a Clue mystery tie-in novel. That's right, like the board game and Tim Curry. It comes out on October 8th, but you can pre-order it now. Tonight, however, Diana is going to tap into the spirit realm, home of the divine muses, and give us some clues about what the future holds.
Very quickly, this book is not out yet, but if you want to get your hands on one of the very few early copies, there are 2 different ones that I've donated to the book charity auction, which is going on tomorrow morning. One is in this special media box that my publisher made for. They made it to look like the game and the arcs inside. Oh my gosh. And you can go and bid on that. The other one is a copy that comes with a Clue card game. I didn't know that was a thing, but it's really cool. And also, I Will Kill You in a future Clue novel. So there are 2 different novels. Oh my God. Which one's better? One is super limited edition. The other one is immortality by being killed. Anyway, since I am this evening dressed as a fortune teller, I am Madame Leota from the Haunted Mansion. To tell some fortunes. But because I'm also a writer, I wanted to talk a little bit about creativity. When I wrote the Clue book, I was coming out of a period where I found it really, really difficult to be creative, and anybody who is a writer in the audience probably has been through periods like this. So, who here is a writer? Awesome, so many hands up. Okay, who here is a writer who didn't win a big bag coming in? Boy, a lot fewer hands. Okay, great, so a lot of bags people got coming in. I thought there was only 40, but.
There's limited seating in here too. So.
Yeah, okay, this is amazing. Okay, so maybe we should do like birthdays? I don't know how to pick.
July. My birthday's on the day your book comes out.
There you go. That's yes. Okay. Step right up, Duck Fairy.
Oh, it's the Duck Fairy.
Yes. And what is your name?
Sarah the Duck Fairy.
Sarah the Duck Fairy. Okay, Sarah the Duck Fairy, why don't you put your hand on the cards and tell me about a creative problem that you've been having recently.
Well, I write poetry, and I have had a very long period of not being able to.
Okay, all right, so I want you to think about that really hard. Your nails are so beautiful, distracting. Okay, now, take your hands off the cards. Now, I want you to pick 3 cards and lay them up here. All right, so here are your fortune. I know, right? I mean, they're really good. These cards are beautiful. Okay, so the first card that you turned over is the release card. And this is the perfect card for somebody who is having problems getting the words out. And what it's saying to you is that you just need to let go. And whether it's good or it's bad, the important thing is to let it flow and let it come out. Which brings us to the second card. Get out of your own way. So if you have any kind of negative thoughts that have maybe been like keeping you saying like, I'm not good enough, it's not good enough, get out of your own way. It's in there. You know it is. And here is the final card for your fortune. It's okay to feel feelings. Poetry is all about feelings, and it's all about expressing your emotions. And you know you have the emotions, you're a poet. So if you feel your feelings, then maybe it will start to flow through you and onto the page. You've got this book to write all the creative things you're going to write. And what does it say on there?
Remember why you started.
All right. Who's next? Who else wants a fortune? Somebody volunteer. Batman? Okay, put your hands on the cards. What's your name? Becky. Becky, tell me about a creative problem you've been having.
So I'm writing a book, and I've got too many ideas, and they're not cohesively coming together like I would like them to.
Think about them. All right. All right, turn them over. See what we got. Oh, okay. What do you think? Do you see anything here that's speaking to you?
Yeah.
The first card you turned over was content with what you already have. I think this is a good card for somebody who is struggling with too many ideas. Oh my gosh, It's okay. It's okay. What this card is telling you is that all the ideas are going to have a place somewhere, and if they don't have a place somewhere, it means they don't belong. Maybe they belong in the sequel. Maybe they belong in another story. I've sometimes taken a character out of a book and put her in a completely different book. Like she was supposed to be, I wrote this thriller once, and she was supposed to be like kind of a badass child assassin, and then later on I made her a unicorn hunter. She didn't fit in that book. So it's okay. And on the same thing, it's okay to feel your feelings. Like, obviously this is something that's really emotional for you. I can see it right now. So it's okay. And I think that the fear is something that happens to every creative at a certain point. You know, you're like, can I do this? Can I pull out this story? Have I bitten off more than I can chew? But I think that eventually, like maybe if you did, that's because you're heading up to a different level of skill in yourself as a writer. And that brings us to the final card, gratitude. What do you think you have to be grateful for? I think that you have so many ideas. There are a lot of people who would kill for that. So I think that you should be really grateful that you're somebody who comes up with all of these ideas and that you have so much creativity inside of you. Oh, someone from this side. Okay, green shirt. I think feeling your feelings seems to be a theme tonight.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. What's your name?
Maya.
Maya. Put your hands on the cards. Why don't you tell us about a creative problem you've been having recently?
So, I'm not a writer, but I tell stories through puppets.
Oh.
Puppets. And for health reasons, I'm having to move away from that. And I don't know what to do with my creative energies anymore. So, I'm looking for direction.
Okay. All right. Turn them over. Oh my God. I think this is a beautiful card. This is the first card you picked. This is the give it the time that it needs card. And especially useful for a puppeteer because of the hand here showing. And I think what this card is telling Maya is that you might not have the answer right away. It might be something that needs to percolate and bloom up out of you. But when it comes, it's going to be the right answer. And maybe something to help you with the answer is be clear about what you want. If for health reasons you find yourself moving away from puppetry, I think you have to dig really deep into your core and think about what it is that drew you to puppetry that you can bring to another medium that might be like as creatively fulfilling. Sorry, it's like cellophane over here. And then finally, another hand card. Be gentle with yourself. Having to find a new path is not an easy thing. And doing it for health reasons is also not an easy thing. But you know that you're doing the best you can. don't be hard on yourself, since you are having to like change a lot of things. That's wonderful. This is really great. You back there and
Yeah.
Hey, hi. What's your name?
I'm Mary Beth.
Mary Beth. All right. Put your hands on the cards, and I want you to tell us about a creative struggle you've been having.
All right. Really, I've just been finding it very difficult to like sit down and focus on one project.
Yeah, I've totally been there.
Yep.
All right. Your first card is, it doesn't have to be perfect. Do you think that it's possible that maybe worrying about whether or not you're getting it right the first time is something that's made it really hard to focus?
Yes.
I think that there's a part of you that the perfectionism is like, let me jump to the new pretty project that I haven't made any mistakes in yet, or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. Keep reminding yourself of this. The next card is reflect. I think sometimes when it's difficult to focus, when it's difficult, it's because there's so many things going on outside in the world. Like, for instance, I have 2 young kids, and sometimes I get up in the morning and I'm like, oh man, I have to do this for her school, and I have to like get this lunches and laundry and everything. What I started to do was I would wake up 15 minutes earlier, and before I did anything, like I would go to the bathroom, but like anything else, I would just sit there and think about my book. And then even though then I had to do the day and I had to like drive the carpools and everything, I thought about my book for 15 minutes and it kind of got it set in my head. And that was the thing that I was able to focus on because I spent the time to reflect. Do you think that might be something that you'd be able to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this last card is very interesting. It's all for a reason. So maybe it's possible that the focus problems you're having is because you might not be focusing on the right project. There have been times when I've had to put something aside and work on something else because it wasn't gelled yet. Because like some stories are stews and they need to marinate for a while, right? Before they're ready. And usually I can tell when I can't when I keep flitting off, it's that it's not quite ready yet. So that might be one thing. And the other thing that might be is that you've got something else that's missing in the story that you need to put in there. So maybe there's a reason that you're having problems focusing on it. And maybe reflection might help you figure out what that is. Yeah. Okay, was that helpful at all? Yes. Good. Yeah. Okay, last one. Public fortune telling is weird.
It's Bianca, everybody.
Hi!
She's like my best friend in Florida.
We did a book together.
We did. It's called Little Witch and Wizard. You should have it.
I bought it. Oh, good. Okay. Hi.
Hi, Bianca.
I have so many, I don't even know.
Okay, put your hands on the cards.
Well, I am a garbage writer, but I am a really somewhat decent artist. So I guess it's just finishing what I start in a way that makes sense, because none of it does.
Okay. Wow. That's like 3 cards that say the exact same thing. Okay, so the first card is celebrate the little things. So I think that this is the time. What does it say to you? I don't know. Because your issue's been that
I have lots of things.
Lots of things. You need one thing. Well, then maybe what you need to do is, I think when you have like lots of things, the one thing seems so big to you, but all big things are made of little things. You know, writing a whole book is a big thing, but writing a whole book is 1 page a day, right? Or if you're illustrating a book, you're an artist, right? Like that it's, you know, this part of the drawing, little parts at a time. So if you're thinking about one thing, you have to think of it as a series. of small tasks that can be completed. Slow change. So this card is about the fact that nothing happens overnight, right? This goes hand in hand with celebrate little things. Everything is made up of small pieces that over time can become really big pieces and that can become the change that you want to see. So you're not going to be able to cut out any kind of frittering overnight. This is just like a building up thing. Your career is a marathon, which leads us to give it the time that it needs. So I think what you need to do is be more patient with yourself and be more generous with yourself.
I'm going to remind you of this later.
I have it on film.
I have it on
no.
tape now.
But you do have it in you to be more patient and more kind and more generous with yourself, because you know that sometimes, I just can't believe how, this is like one message you're getting right here. Like, someone take a picture of these cards. Yeah.
Oh no! Oh god! I'm never gonna get into this. Okay, I'm gonna go slink away now.
No, take your gift.
Oh, you're
Diana's magic, you guys! That's pretty amazing! I almost teared up a couple of times. That was fantastic. If you hadn't realized by now, all our cast members are Princess Alethea's traveling sideshow veterans. John Hartness joined us in 2017 at Con Carolinas, where he performed the most fabulous redneck poetry. I am honored that he could join us this year with a few more poems for our 10th anniversary Sideshow Extravaganza.
Some of them are the same, but y'all weren't there, it's all right. He was salvation for sale in a seersucker coat and a Panama hat, tearing up the back roads, bringing the word of Jesus in red gospel letters to shotgun shacks with wax paper windows and a loose step on the porch. He sold God on the installment plan and preached the virtue of the embossed, personalized edition to illiterate cracker sharecroppers with twice-patched young'uns and barefoot, haggard wives. He drank only sweet tea while he worked, and only Old Crow while he drove that big old Cadillac with a trunk full of rapture and a shoebox full of gospel cassettes rattling the rusted floorboards. Some nights, when lightning danced beneath the distant clouds, he walked through the rain, looking for God in a red-letter sky with jagged gold initials. It's been said once or twice that I write comedy. This is called Small Caliber Love. Tequila Sunrise, not her real name, smoothed an imaginary wrinkle out of her cerulean alligator skin miniskirt, steadied her aim with the nickel-plated .25 automatic I gave her for our 6-month anniversary, and called me a sumbitch one more time. I had just enough time to contemplate the headline, Drunken Poet Murdered in No-Tell Motel, before Sonny, still not her real name, sneezed and her allergies blew a hole in the room 438 TV screen. She jumped, I dove, but that poor Zenith was a goner. After the tears, hysterical giggles, and phone calls from security faded into memory, we brushed the glass off the comforter, turned on the fan in the bathroom, and screwed like teenagers on a roller coaster till a headboard broke and spilled us laughing and sweating onto the floor. This is called Red Dirt Boy. It's the title of my collection of poetry, which I don't have any copies of, but I do have some books in the back of the room, so you can buy my shit later. You can order this off Amazon. I'll sign it for you next time we see each other. It's cool.
I am the red dirt boy running barefoot down a gravel road in the middle of summer to Mama's house, fighting and throwing dirt clods at my cousin, because it's my turn to sit on an ice cream churn, and you done it last time, and I'm gonna get a switch for your ass if you don't straighten up. I am sun-bleached hair and brown skin splashing in the creek, catching crawdaddies in a jar and throwing mud pies at one another while we walk through the thistles home, dodging cow pies and horse flies, hitching a ride on the tailgate of Uncle Ed's pickup truck, bouncing across the ruts in the hayfield. I'm a dirty bar of ivory soap on a window ledge round back of the house by the spigot, scrubbing all the red mud off my feet into puddles before Mama'd let me back in the house. I'm that skinny little shirtless boy drinking out of the garden hose that never remembers to let it run cold first before he spits out a big mouthful of hot, green, plastic-tasting water. I'm cut off shorts and flip-flops, eating watermelon off a butter knife with just a little dash of salt to go with the sweet, sweet juicy of every bite after that big old melon's been sitting in the icebox all afternoon. I'm sitting on a porch listening to my sister sing while Daddy picks a little on the front porch as the dog day storms roll in. Thunder means God's bowling, and rain when the sun shines means the devil's beating his wife. Who's gonna marry the devil anyway? I'm home. I'm safe in Mama's arms while the lightning dances across the horizon. I'm home. I'm the smell of wood smoke in January with a load of firewood in my arms. I'm home. I'm more than a memory that flashes like fireflies on Granny's azaleas, gone like mud puddles from yesterday's rain and the glare of all those tomorrows. I'm home.
Thank you, John. That was wonderful. I got goosebumps. I met Mary Mancusi here at DragonCon so many years ago I can't even remember. But I do remember she was dressed as a bloody Bo Peep. Of course I knew we would be instant best friends. She and Diana have joined the Traveling Sideshow in 2013. We couldn't remember last night, so it's 2013. And I swear they were some of the best and most clever cosplay I've ever seen. Mary has roughly 500,000 books in print. She probably brought them today. The next one is due out. The next one due out is the second in her adventurous Camelot Code series, Geeks and the Holy Grail, releasing October 1st. If you are following the Sideshow Facebook page, which I'm sure all of you are, you already know that Mary is about to make a very special announcement right now, after which she's going to help us choose our own DragonCon.
So, no pictures on this because it hasn't been released on the interwebs, but this is the cover of my May book with Disney. It is called Dragon Ops, and it's kind of like a trapped in a video game, but a book, but not a virtual video game, an augmented reality. So the world's first video game theme park, and these kids get trapped in this game. So I'm going to show you the cover for the first time. You are the first to see it. Excellent job. That's awesome. All right, we are going to play. Many of you have probably done Choose Your Own Adventures in your youth. This is Choose Your Own DragonCon, and I need your help with the choices. Okay? I think maybe the best way I will read, give the choices, and maybe Alethea, you can pick someone to make the choice. Oh, you want to do that?
Of course, because I'm no pressure.
Okay. There's no wrong answers, except you could die, in a very bloody way. May the odds ever be in your favor. It's the weekend you've been waiting for. It's finally here. DragonCon, an all-out 5-day, 6, 7, 10, third Mardi Gras celebration deep in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia. 80,000 of your closest friends, most in crazy costumes, celebrating geek culture together. You arrive on the scene ready to party, but first you have to stash your stuff. You, A, scored a room at the Marriott. Yes! B, head to the Hyatt. The Marriott is so overrated. C, remember you once again forgot to book a room early enough and you're at the airport. Again. Or D, park your car and recline your seat. Who has the cash for a hotel?
All right, who's going to choose this one? D. Yeah, go ahead.
D.
D, all right, we're going to the car.
I mean, seriously, hotels and, you know, the assurance of your own personal safety are way overrated in your opinion. Just park and play. And bonus, no damn elevators to slow you down. No showers either. But hey, body odor is practically the official scent of DragonCon. And so, parking and placing your pillow on the dash, you head down to the Sheraton to registration. When you get there, you realize the line is 5 gazillion hours long, of course. You A, slide in with the guy in the Harry Potter shirt in the front of the line, who definitely maybe you met last year, or not, but let's be honest, who cares? Or B, stay in place. You're not an animal. You'll get your badge eventually.
Which one, you guys?
B.
I hear B a lot. Let's go with
B,
B.
you want to stay in line? All right, yeah, you don't want to mess with that Harry Potter kid.
Sleep in the car, but stay in
3 hours later, you finally get your badge. Yeah. You step out of line, exhausted, but with your integrity intact, so congratulations. Exhausted, you open your DragonCon app and you check out the upcoming programming. Looks like tonight there's a special zombie party happening at the Hyatt, which of course doesn't sound half as exciting as the YA Dracula Ball. It's the party of the year. But who knows, maybe this could be cool to check out. UA, time to get cosplayed up. You have a killer costume this year and you can't wait for people to see it. Or B, oh wait, sorry, there's no other option here. You're gonna be in my store, you're cosplaying. Time to get your cosplay on. After all, you're no tourist. You head back to your car and open your massive suitcase out of the truck. Costumes spill out all over to the street. You grab tonight's, which is A Marvel character. After all, you've already invested $5 billion in movie tickets for the franchise. What's one $400 costume more? B, that's probably why you didn't afford the hotel. B, a super ridiculous mashup of two things that just do not go together. It's bound to get you all the laughs. Or C, a Marriott carpet bag. Gosh, that joke never gets old. Carpet? All right, carpet it is. I stepped on that Marriott carpet before it was cool, you think, as you slip on your costume. In fact, you were here the day they ripped it out of the hotel.
I actually was.
Can you believe they wanted to throw it away? This iconic, ugly, ridiculous, life-affirming rug? What a waste. Thankfully, you were able to steal a bunch of it out of the dumpster and bring it home. There, you used your elite sewing skills to create a bag, a life-size bag, like a Marriott Poppins carpet bag. How funny is that? Admittedly, in hindsight, you might have tried to wash it first. It's a bit grimy and, well, stinky. But hey, you're sleeping in your car, man. And it's so cool and so authentic. Not like the printed fabric those other cosplays use. Yours is the real, disgusting deal. Everyone is going to freak out. Once you're dressed, you head to the party. You see a few heads turn in your direction, confirming that your costume's on fleek. Do people even say that anymore? Well, they will when they see your costume. A few pinch their noses and look disgusted. Clearly they're not real DragonCon fans. You finally arrive at the ballroom where the party's being held, only to find a line out the door. Sorry, even fictional DragonCon is crowded as anything. You A, see that Harry Potter dude in the front of the line? How does he always get up front? B, see two of the authors from Alethea's traveling sideshow up front, dressed in killer Haunted Mansion cosplay. Surely they'll let you cut, right? I mean, you sat through their whole damn show last year. Or C, wait in line like the chump you are. All right. You run up to the authors. Oh my God, it's you, you cry. The two girls look at one another. One is dressed as the Haunted Mansion bride, and the other is a really cool looking Madame Leota. I mean, hey, it's no Marriott Poppins carpet cosplay, but they're not bad. Do we know you? Ask the authors, looking confused. I know you, you reply, catching the suspicious stares from the people behind you in line. You're only the best authors I've ever read. So good, so amazing. Your characters, they leap off the page. Just FYI, you've never read anything these two girls wrote. But you gotta do what you gotta do. It's the lines at DragonCon. Why, thank you, they cry, super excited to have fans recognize them. Which is weird, because you would think this would happen all the time, but maybe they're not that good. Whatever. You're in line with them, your new favorite authors. You vow silently to find out their names later so you can buy their books. As long as they're on Amazon. And don't cost any more than 99 cents. Maybe you can wait for that free book bub or something.
You turn to Madame Leota. You know, you're giving me a great idea for next year's costume. Imagine Marriott Carpet Leota. Wait for the gasps of awe at this amazing idea. A little worried that maybe you shouldn't have said it out loud. I mean, what if someone steals your idea? What if someone else rolls up next year's your Marriott Carpet Leota? Can you sue for intellectual property infringement when neither property infringed is technically yours? Good question. The authors seem to shrink away from you just a bit. Though maybe it's your imagination. I mean, how could they not love you in your epic cosplay? Even if it is a lot stinky. After what seems like forever, you get inside. The music is pumping. There are zombies everywhere. Star Trek zombies, Star Wars zombies, dinosaur blow-up zombies, Fat Thor zombies, a few scoops of Hoy zombies with green ice cream cones. This is awesome. Except, what is going on in the mosh pit? Is that screaming you hear? Screaming and growling? You A, go investigate. You're always up for a little DragonCon drama. Or B, you ignore it. It's DragonCon. This is normal. Hey. You go investigate. You start to head over to the mosh pit. The DJ launches into a Billie Eilish dance remix. People keep screaming. As you get closer, you can see some of them falling down, collapsing, writhing on the ground. Some look like they're actually bleeding. Wow, most realistic zombie party ever! Suddenly, none other than an actual Marriott Poppins carpet bag zombie staggers over, looking very, well, messy and bloody. Whoa, you cry quite alarmed. You look him over, horror washing over you. This is not good. This is really not good. Did you steal my costume idea? This is bad. This is really bad. You knew you should never have casually made a joke about a carpet bag costume idea on the DragonCon cosplay Facebook page. Now someone has actually stolen your idea and then zombified it, which makes it even cooler. Brains. The Marriott carpet bag mutters under his breath, and you sob again, realizing people are looking at him, and then you, and judging you for not looking as cool as them. My carpet is authentic, you cry. Like, I got it out of a dumpster. His probably came from Spoonflower, noob. He cries again. You A, decide to make like a rug and roll with it. Maybe people will think it's a couple's costume. Or B, you make like a rug and roll over to the other side of the ballroom, where people will surely appreciate your originality. Hey.
Sounds like it.
Whatever, dude, you say, turning your back on him to go dancing. This is your night. You've waited all year for this. You're not going to let some copycat carpet ruin it for you. Brains! The carpet zombie grabs you from behind. He bites down, taking a huge chunk out of your costume. Dude, you cry, turning to him. That is not cool. This is original carpet. You know, not even washed. Suddenly his face turns green. Greener than it already was. He staggers backward, white foam bubbling from his mouth. He drops to the ground, writhing in pain. You watch, very confused at this point. Suddenly, a girl dressed like Buffy the Vampire Slayer runs over to you. She looks down at the copycat carpet, then up at you. Good work, she cried. You killed the zombie. Wait, what? I killed what? Is this some kind of LARP thing these DragonCon people are playing? A girl who looks just like Buffy, but younger with white hair, runs up. You recognize her from that iZombie show. He was a real zombie, she explains, raging out from drinking Max Rager energy drink. He already killed 3 people in the mosh pit before you took him out. She kicks him, annoyed. Way to give zombies a bad rap, dude. But I didn't do anything, you say, so confused at this point. A third blonde girl, looking very much like the other 2, approaches. You stare at her. Veronica Mars? What happened here is clear, she says matter-of-factly. Your carpet killed him. My carpet? Is that original Marriott carpet? Why, yes. You can't help but burst into pride at being recognized. Veronica Mars knows. And let me guess, she covers her nose. You never washed it. Of course not, you cry, horrified at the idea. Exactly as I suspected. The amount of toxic mold that built up into that costume over the years, it's deadly, even to zombies. Whoa. Buffy slaps you on the back. You saved DragonCon, she says. How does it feel to be a hero? You smile. Really good, you agree, already formulating next year's costume. Forget Madame Leota Carpet. You're going to be a carpet zombie slayer. Just hope no one tries to copy you. The end. Because I got really crazy and wrote all the different endings to this, and it's like a 10,000 word, story now. I will put it up online, and we will link it to the Sideshow page so you can try out all the other costumes and endings and all that. We've got time travel with John Connor. The Hufflepuff zombie. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff.
I want all the Hufflepuff zombies.
But no one wants the Harry Potter
it. Oh. But that's like so antithetical. That's the best. That's why it's the best.
I really was here. There was a World Horror Convention that year when they were tearing up the carpet, and I saw the rooms with piles of carpet, and it occurred to me, that's probably like thousands of dollars that I could make if I just loaded up my car with all this, oh God, it's gonna be disgusting. And I'm sure they made lots of money, and in hindsight, I still probably wouldn't have touched that carpet. And now, I'm sad to say, we must bring our sideshow to a close. To sing us farewell, I'm going to welcome Gray Rinehart back to the stage. Gray is our second most featured veteran, having performed with the sideshow since 2011. In addition to his albums, which I trust you've already ordered, his novel Walking on the Sea of Clouds is now available on audiobook. Performing 2 original songs tonight, and yes, the second one is Tauntauns to Glory, Gray Rinehart.
Thank you, Princess. I think we had some youngsters in here a bit ago. Anybody around the age of 16?
Sure.
Coming up on that? Around the age of 8? Maybe? Or anybody who had anything happen important in their lives, say 8 years ago or 16 years ago, that you might look forward to. Or anybody who has children or grandchildren. We're not going to go there. That's important. Because this is a song about time and about a way to commemorate time. It's called Taking You Out to See the Stars.
Come outside with me, little one, hold my hand, let's take a walk and look at wonders far beyond this tiny world of ours. Don't be afraid as we venture out, though the twilight's growing dark, 'cause if we didn't have the darkness, we wouldn't be able to see the stars. We can follow the phases of the changing moon, crescent, gibbous, full. See the wanderers like Jupiter, bright Venus, and red Mars. But on certain special nights, let's look for certain special lights and ponder time and distance and our connections to the stars. Taking you out to see the stars. Taking you out to see the stars. Taking you out to see the universe's majesty. Taking you out to see the stars. When you're 4 years old, let's try to go on a trip far to the south, where we'll find a glowing firmament, forms a vastly different sky, and see Alpha Centauri, the closest neighbor to our sun, whose light began its journey here when you first opened your eyes. And when you're twice as old, we'll mark the time by the dog star Sirius, and we can celebrate your sweet 16 with old Alethea from afar. And I hope you'll come to marvel at this wondrous universe, because so much of what we are was made in the hearts of former stars. Taking you out to see the stars. Taking you out to see the stars. Taking you out to see the universe's majesty. Taking you out to see the stars. So come out outside with me, little one. Let's survey the sky above as the canopy of creation moves around our spinning home. Do you hear the stars and galaxies singing gently in the flowing breeze, beckoning to humanity and calling us to roam? I wish I could unveil to you all the mysteries of the heavens, filled with more stars than we can name or count or even see. And when I'm gone, I hope you'll take the time to look up and imagine that my love and dreams and hopes for you will shine as long as these. Taking you out to see the stars, taking you out to see the stars, taking you out to see the universe's majesty, taking you out to see the stars, taking you out to see the stars.
This is this year's Princess Alethea's Traveling Sideshow 10th Anniversary shirt. I also think our Tauntauns should come up. So great. The parade is going to be a blast. Let's give a round of applause, you guys.
And the best song ever.
Oh, and I almost didn't make it through the last one. When I dreamed that I was on the Ice World Hall, and high above in orbit was our imperial foe, and they sent down their crazy elephant walking machinery of death, so we saddled up our Tauntauns to meet them in the snow. We were riding our Tauntauns to glory, riding our Tauntauns to glory, riding our Tauntauns to glory, riding our Tauntauns to glory. Now if the tree huggers had their way, and our SUVs are rusting out in the salvage yard, I hope that geneticists make some Tauntauns out of recombinant DNA, cause then life in the new ice age might not be so hard. Cause we'll be riding our Tauntauns to glory, riding our Tauntauns to glory, riding our Tauntauns to glory, riding our Tauntauns to glory. When you venture out riding on your Tauntaun, be careful not to stay out too long in the night, or you might want to take a pop-up igloo and survival kit, so you don't have to cut up your Tauntaun and spend the night inside. We'd rather be riding our Tauntauns to glory, riding our Tauntauns to glory. Rather be riding our Tauntauns to glory, riding our Tauntauns to glory, riding our Tauntauns to glory, riding our Tauntauns to glory.
Best friends. Look at his gauntlets. He's got the dragon on his gauntlets. Pat S. Dragon is on his gauntlets. That concludes our 10th anniversary performance of Princess Alethea's Traveling Sideshow. But the fun is not over. Stick around to meet and mingle with the cast, have them sign some books and some 10th anniversary dragon prints from this lovely, beautiful redhead over here in the front row. Everyone say hi to Kit, who designed the dragon for this dress. I'd like to thank all of my Sideshow cast. Past and present, Princess Sarah, my Brood Squad, my fairy godmothers, and thank you Mel and the YA track for being so gracious over the years. Be sure to love and appreciate each other as much as you can this weekend. because I love you all and my life is better with you in it.